Um, what what I think most developers are happy with is that both Sony and Microsoft have given us a huge amount more RAM than we had to play with on the previous generation.
Okay.
And because it's a console, you get much lower level access to it as well. So that this is far more useful than, say, a total of 8 gigabytes of RAM on a PC. Because for both PS4 and Xbox One, it's a stripped down operating system. You've got much faster access to it. So the real stunning thing is going to be the jump between the next generation visuals and the current generation.
I can't wait.
The differences between the Xbox One and PS4, we may actually have to wait a while before we really see them, because I think you're only going to see those differences when people start maxing out the new consoles. That's going to take some time, because there's a lot of power there, and it's going to take people quite a while to really figure out how to get the most out of them.
Okay, I understand that. Well, in your opinion, just just food for thought for the fans out here. In your opinion, from what you know or have seen of the PS4 and the Xbox One, from developers working on it and even developers using your technology and licensing it, which system do you think has, from an architecture standpoint maybe, but which system do you think has the opportunity to show more power than the other? The reason why I said this is because Jack Tritton, the CEO over at Sony, he had said in an interview not too long ago that developers told him, the third party, multi-plat developers told him that the games on PS4 will be better than Xbox One, whether graphically or run better, whatever. And this is what developers told him, and that's why he said what he said, and he said it with confidence. So, but a lot of times, people say the PR stuff, and then eventually you get the real stuff. So I'm talking to you to get the real stuff. You know what I'm saying, Chris? You know what I mean? I'm talking to you to get the real stuff. So in your opinion, how do you feel the overall performance could be? Because in the past generation with PS3 and 360, from an exclusive standpoint, PS3 games was better than Xbox 360 games from an exclusive standpoint. When I look at Uncharted, God of War, Last of Us recently, Beyond, Heavy Rain, these games just took it to gaming overall to the next level. But when they look at multiplats, because of the architecture of the Xbox 360, they just ran better when it came to that. So I just love your opinion on that.
I think one thing that's already become quite obvious is that the architectures of the PS4 and Xbox One are really quite similar.
Yeah.
There isn't anything like the huge difference that there was between the 360 and PS3. They were completely different beasts. So for a lot of third-party developers, I think you'll just see a lot of things a lot of games will just look pretty consistent across the two. There's no real reason to put any extra effort into sort of differentiate. You'll just get good quality stuff across them. When it comes down to the first party, I think a lot of that may actually just come down to the skill of the developers. But from a purely personal point of view, at home I've got a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3, a Vita, and a PSP. So it's pretty obvious which of the two I'm going to be buying at Christmas.
I'm gonna try to get everything, but that's good to hear.
I'm also. I think it's great for the industry to have Sony kind of back and on form again after being kind of losing their way a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's quite healthy that we're going to have at least two big heavyweight console guys fighting it out for the next few years. It's good for the consumer. There's going to be a lot of choice. I'm sure a lot of people will end up buying one of both at some point. What you can see is that Microsoft have got a slightly different play in mind for their console. They're thinking much more about an integrated media play with TV and lots of add-on stuff. Sony are thinking much more about this just being first and foremost a games console, possibly with some other services that will come in down the line. So they're talking the developers' language a bit more, and I think that's probably coming through in the sort of the positive comments that they're getting.
Definitely, I completely agree.
Yeah, but when it comes to when the consumers finally pick up the controls and play around with the games, I think they're both going to be a very good experience, and I'm sure they'll both sell well.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is, I think, a very important question for you, Chris. Now, there's a lot of competition out there in terms of engines, you know what I'm saying? Because you got the Epic Games engine, Unreal is crazy. You got Crytek with the Cry engine, which is crazy. So, you have a lot out there. Now, even though, you know, with your engine, it does lighting and stuff like that, are you guys planning to expand upon just lighting and make like an overall engine that games could be, you know, built on from the ground up? Because I'm gonna tell you, Chris, I don't know how many people told you this, but me personally, man, I love you. Like, seriously, man, I love you to death. Like, I'm gonna tell you, when I seen Battlefield 4 and I found out that, you know, your technology has something to do with the way this looked, I had to speak to you. I had to. So to me, I really appreciate you, what you're doing for the industry, what you're doing for us as gamers. Like, you know, I can't wait to experience it. But also seeing that makes me want more from you and your team. So what's the timeline to grow beyond just lighting for your company?
That's a good question, actually. I get asked that by investors quite a lot as well.
Word, man.
We are not going to make a full-blown engine. There's too many out there at the moment.
Okay.
And the Unreal Engine, we're integrated into Unreal Engine 3 and 4. Unreal Engine 4 is just stunning. Some of the, you know, we produce our demos on it. It's great.
Oh wow.
And I don't think there's much space for a new high-end game engine out there. I think that market is kind of done. What Unity are doing is interesting in making the tools that have a much lower barrier to entry, so that it's a lot easier for people to just, you know, download their tools and make a game. That's really good. So we're putting quite a lot of thought into how we take Enlighten and make it more easy for people to pick up and use. Currently it's kind of a performance tool. It's something that makes sense for the guys at DICE and 2K to use. But it's not that easy for someone who hasn't got some years of experience behind them. So we're looking at ways to make Enlighten more widely available so that other people can pick it up. And then we don't expect to make a full engine, but we expect to keep making bits of technology that people will license and put into their engine. So we're very interested in post-processing effects. How do you get a real film quality look to a game? We get asked, a lot of people throw it around in terms of like photorealism for next generation, that sort of thing. And what we're interested in isn't photorealism, because actually nobody wants that. What people want are games that look like a film.
Yes, I agree.
We talk to lots of people in the film industry about, well, how do you actually make your films look like they do? Not the CG films, but the real action films. And they have all the layers of compositing and post-processing that goes on to create the exact look they want. There's lots of potential for bringing those techniques to games now. So we're putting a lot of research effort into that. And at the other end, we're putting a lot of effort into waterfalling the Enlighten technology down onto mobile devices, so that tablets and phones can start producing games that are getting towards console quality as well.
That's amazing. Now, let me ask you this: like, what other games that like next generation games that's going to be featuring your lighting technology, and also what games are you interested in that you would want your technology in? Like, for real, I think that's a good question.
So you're probably, I'm sure you know how all of this works. There's a few next generation titles that have licensed us that we're not allowed to talk about yet.
Oh man! Oh man, you killing me, Chris, right now. Oh man, you can't give me a hint. You can't give me a hint at all.
Most of the games that we can talk about are on our sort of current game videos. So EA showed quite a few at E3.
Yeah.
There was one other game using us at E3, but we're not allowed to tell you what it is yet.
Oh man. Okay.
And then before the next generation, we've got a game coming out using our tech in a couple of weeks on current generation, the new XCOM.
Oh, XCOM, word! Alright, cool.
That's looking really good, actually. We've seen what they've produced, and I'm quite looking forward to that game.
Okay.
In terms of the actual games that I play and the ones I'd like to get in, my favourite games of this cycle have been Uncharted and now The Last of Us. I'm kind of 2/3 the way through The Last of Us. So, I'd love to be able to work with Naughty Dog at some point.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something right now. Big shout out to Evan Wells. I got peoples over at Naughty Dog, and I'm telling you, man, like I will speak to them. Like I would talk to Arnie. I would talk to Arnie and be like, yo, look, Chris said that he would love to be a part of what you guys is doing. So we need to make that happen. And I think, and honestly, just to piggyback on what you said on that, considering Naughty Dog is exclusive to Sony, I think it'd be great to see your technology used in an exclusive platform way. Because, like, what I've noticed with a lot of developers, when you have a game that you're making for, simultaneously for two systems, you want to make sure that one don't look too much better than the other. You want to try to kind of keep the balance between all of them. And to me, I respect that, but really I don't like it. The reason why is because if one platform could do more than another, showcase that, because that's the reason why Sony and Microsoft work so hard to create these machines, so you can get the most out of it regardless of the situation. But when you're dealing with exclusive titles, they can go balls out, you know what I'm saying, and really do whatever they want to do, because that's the only thing that they're focusing on. And with your technology being done on Battlefield, and that's a multi-platform game, I can imagine how much bigger it'll be on a Naughty Dog PS4 title. Oh my god, that would be crazy. So it's good to know that.
I agree with that,